My name is Roger, and I wanted to share my experience of being adopted. I've known since I, I can remember, I've always known that I was adopted. My parents never hid it from me. I have two siblings, two sisters, who are both older than me, and they're both adopted also. They're biological sisters, but they were adopted by the same parents as me. I was recently I recently found out that there's a young man on my son's football team who's adopted. And I just, felt a connection just because I've been that age, and the emotions and fears and questions and everything that I went through at that age, I figured, man, I wish I had somebody to talk to, or I wish I had somebody that had a like experience as me. And growing up, I was quiet about it. People that were close to me, everybody close to me knew. My best friends knew. But it's one thing for the people around you to know. It's just when you're going through it as a 10-year-old kid, and you have these questions in your mind that, you really don't want to ask your parents. Because for me, I didn't want to hurt my mother or my father's feelings. So I just held stuff in. And yeah, it was kind of a tough spot, because I never got to express how I was feeling in a healthy way, I guess you could say. Like I said, I had always known, I just didn't know what to do with that. And there's all these questions that as a 10-year-old I had, like, well, what happened to my biological parents? So there's a rejection that you deal with that. Even though, I grew up in a loving household. My parents were loving, my sisters are loving. There are some extended family that didn't always make me and my sisters feel like we belonged, but I didn't know what to say about that. Biologically, I'm not related to some people that are in my extended family. But in my household, I felt loved, and it was great to feel loved. But it was also difficult to grow up in a household where nobody looks like me, right? And you see your friends who have brothers and sisters, and oh, you look just like your mom, or you look just like your dad. And I've had people say that to me, oh my God, you look like your dad. I don't. But yeah. So I wanted to just share like my experiences with not just the young man I know, but I figured I'm sure there's other people out there who have gone through similar things, or are going through similar things right now. Whether they be a child, or whether you be the parent that decided to adopt a child, that there are some things that a kid that's adopted goes through. And one of the things is, my mother was very loving, almost overprotective of me. She just wanted to make sure that I was always okay, and I appreciated it. It was fantastic, and it was like an umbrella for me, and she protected me from the world and from everybody. And I felt that, and I needed it. The thing is, it it stopped me from growing in certain ways because I always ran to that protection. And I was always under that protection. And so there was always a sense of rejection for me because my biological parents gave me up, and the world can be cruel and kids can be cruel. And so then when you're not in this crowd or they don't let you in that crowd, there's another rejection. And so I would run to that umbrella. One thing that I want people or young people or parents to know is that to teach their kids that you are enough by yourself. It took me some time to recognize that and realize that, and I wish I would have learned it earlier. But young man or young woman or parent, if you could just instill that in your adopted child, that they're enough by themselves. And I know we all go through that, whether you're adopted or not. You have to figure out that you are enough. But when you're adopted and your life starts out with this rejection that you feel, it needs to be reiterated over and over again. And it can help a kid that feels not just the rejection from the adoption, but the rejection that you're going to feel because it's just natural. Everybody's not going to like you. But when you have a sense of you're okay if you're not in this crowd or that crowd, man, it could save you from a lot of stuff. Save you from a lot of trying too hard or overextending yourself or just feeling like you're not enough. So I just want to share over the next few weeks just different things that I dealt with. And there's a lot. And I'm 48 now. And at the age of 48, I met my biological family a couple months ago. And there's multiple people that look like me. And wow, that is something. And so I look forward to sharing more. I just want to take a little bit at a time, just so I can help out the kid I know and anybody else who might be going through something similar. Thanks for listening.